Okay, I'm gonna switch to Romanian a bit. Dacă suntem live, salutare tuturor și bine ați revenit la un nou podcast Grind. De data asta voi fi eu pentru câteva minute gazda din seara asta, până intră Vlad. Avem astăzi un invitat, după cum ați văzut și în titlu, este vorba de Dmitry de la ArtDock Games și o să îl avem de fapt invitat și pe Tudor Sprânceană și Tudor Codrinine. Iar avem doi Tudori, dar încercăm să nu facem prea multă confuzie. Pe cei doi Tudori știți deja. O să vorbim în seara asta în engleză, nu cred că e o problemă pentru nimeni, sper, așa că vom face switch acum în engleză și vom povesti mai multe despre jocurile ArtDock și despre, nu știu, experiența lui Dmitry și despre jocurile indie și mai multe altele. Vom vedea în minutele următoare. So, we're gonna switch back to English now. So, hi Dmitry, welcome to Grind Podcast. It's a pleasure to have you here and to discuss more about your awesome games and maybe some secrets, some behind the scenes behind what really was the struggle behind making indie games. How was it in Gamescom? I know that you were there a few weeks ago, and all sorts of cool stuff that you want to discuss for today. So I'm gonna let Tudor do the icebreaker and open up with the first question.
Okay, so yes, please.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Hello, everyone, and it's great to see you right now. Thanks for inviting, and I hope our conversation will be very useful for our followers, for everyone who listen us right now.
For sure.
Okay, so Dmitry, we meet again. So I think it's fair to say for the people following us or who maybe have missed the 41st podcast, previous one, that, one of the things I've discussed during that episode was that I had the pleasure of discussing with you and some other fine people from ArtDock about the games you are making. So I'll get right to the point. I know you're the marketing lead on this studio, and I really like you to take the time and maybe to present yourself, of course, and maybe ArtDock as the company you are representing.
Yep, for sure. Can I start?
Yeah.
Yes,
please.
Thanks again for inviting me here. Yep, as it was mentioned before, my name is Dmitry. I'm a marketing lead at Ardog, and we're a Moldovan indie studio. And our focus has always been on experimenting with different genres and creating games which feel fun and just memorable. And every project we make, it's quite different from the previous one, because we love exploring new direction, we love testing different ideas, and always trying to find our own audience. To be honest, it's also about marketing, because we just need to find the audience which will reflect us more, which will reflect for our game more deeply. That is why we are trying to make absolutely different games. And it's also about filling out the market, understanding what players might want next, and how can we bring something fresh for them. So yeah, it's not only about like inspiration that some of our devs want to create projects in a sphere, in a genre which he's personally like, but yeah, it's also about understanding the market. So yeah, that's our main goal. It's like our testimony.
okay. Okay, so you said that I'll ask you something from a marketing standpoint. How do you cut like through the noise, or how do you make sure that indie games and stand out in a very competitive market, or so I've been told by some of my friends in the business? How do you make them, unique? What's your plan on this side?
Well, first of all, it's all about discussions with devs. It's first all about concept of a particular game. For example, our first game, which is called SOS Ops or SOSOPS, it was released like 2 years ago, and it was with Human Fall Flat vibes. We understand that Human Fall Flat is still quite popular game where online on SteamDB on Steam for simultaneously unique users is quite big. So that is why we try to make games in such a genre. And it's a co-op action. We just know and we understand that co-op games is still quite popular right now. If you just see the most popular games, it's like Counter-Strike, Dota, but also some kind of cheap and easy indie games like Peak, like Lethal Company, Repo, and so on. Because everyone like co-op, and when you just make a game, a product which costs like from $5 to $10 or $12, it's just you create game, you create a product which will definitely user will buy at the same minute at when he see it, because when he see a product which costs 20, 25, 30, or especially $40, he just thinking about it, he can just add to wish list and then buy it on sale. But when he just searching for Steam, searching different platforms, and he saw something cool with overwhelming positive reviews and which cost not so much, and in which he can play with his friends, it's just it's like a sale at the same minute. So yeah, SOS Ops was for us. It's like good testing of co-op genre, of co-op mechanics, and also the main thing is about marketing and about our stuff. It's just to make sure that you will release at each platform, not only on PC like Steam, GOG, or Epic Store, but also at consoles. I mean, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox. And for us, it was a big milestone because our first product, SOSOPS, it was like released on each platform, on each console, because still we have some latest game like Penguin Helper, about which I spread a little bit later, which it was released only like on Steam or at Epic Game and at Nintendo Switch. We are still working on release it at Xbox and PlayStation, because to be honest, our main dev, he has not so much time just to go back to his previous project, Penguin Helper, and to work on it, to port it to consoles, because he just real too busy with the newest project like Paw Paw, which you just cover at your previous podcast. And to be honest, about marketing and consoles, you don't need to have a big budget when you want to release your game at consoles, because the market of consoles, it's not so big like at Steam or at PC projects, but like the players who just want to play, who have consoles, it's a pretty big amount of people. And they, even though maybe it's not their genre, even though it maybe just they don't like visual or mechanics, but it's a big chance that they still buy it because they want something to play. Because when you have a PlayStation, and for example, Sony released Last of Us Second, Part 2, or a new God of War, or a new Horizon, Zero Dawn, or so on, it costs $50 or $60, and it's a pretty big. And gamers, players, they want to play. And when they see some new games, for example, like indie games, such as us, such as our game, they still buy it. So, like one of the secret for indie studio, and one of the main goal for sure, it's to make sure that you will release everywhere.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. We actually have a question from the public, from our live public right now. That I also want to touch on this. So they're asking, what was the source of inspiration for your most recent projects, for the one you're releasing now at the end of the year, Paw Paw?
Oh,
Was it Dave the Diver? Some people are saying Dave the Diver. I personally saw elements of Overcooked and Stardew Valley, but I'm more curious exactly what's the source from you.
Thanks a lot for this question, and thanks a lot for mentioning this reference, because it's absolutely right. Our game designer and our product owner, who just made a concept for our last game, Paw Paw, which will be released, I hope it will be released this year at November. Yes, one of the inspiration was Overcooked. The second one was Animal Crossing and some part of Party Animals, I think, and David Diver. Our game designer is a big fan of this game because he think it's like top of indie genre, and at the same time he like how's it called, Drage, another indie title. And but David Diver, it's like the example of how can you just put different mechanics added to like one game and how it works between each other. So yeah, your audience, it's absolutely right. And yeah, talking about Paw Paw, it's for us also a good example of how can we try to search the market, because yeah, Overcooked is still popular nowadays with its cooking mechanics. You can see many season DLC and like season pass for Overcooked. They just make an update, I think, each season or maybe once in a half year, and the online of simultaneously players on Steam is quite big, especially when it's on sales. So yeah, that is why we just took some mechanics from Overcooked and make a concept of sandbox, because Paw Paw, it's a sandbox, it's a semi-open world. Uh, but at the same time, it's a cooking simulator with co-op mode. It's up to 4 players, and you can just customize your own character, for example, cat, foxes, dogs, raccoons, and so on. And also we add different mechanics such as fishing, such as farming, because, and it's a little bit secret, but not the secret, that we just huge fans of Stardew Valley, and we just like the concept of farming. That is why we add in our game farming. It's a key mechanics, because you just farm, breed some stuff which you can use like a chef of a restaurant and drive into the narrative further and further. So yeah, it's a semi-open world, and we have a strong narrative line, we have a storyline with different NPCs, quests, and we are also putting a big focus on customization, as I say. So players will be able to make their characters and restaurants by their own. So we have like several levels of restaurant which we can just customize and upgrade as well. Yeah, Paw Paw, it's a quite ambitious project because we are working for it. I think at the end of this autumn, it will be a year. This long we are working on this project, and for now we just have 2 main prizes from international exhibitions, from international conference for this game. It's like we won the outstanding exhibited games award at China Joy, and we won at Nordic Game. We won prize like from audience, like People Choice Award, and we were like in local news, in Moldovan local news, and at the end of the day, we feel ourselves like little rock stars at the game dev world, because everyone wrote about us. For example, IGN published our trailers of Paw Paw and Lootbound on their main page on YouTube for free. And it was quite a success for us, because we see what we can reach the international audience in North America, in Western Europe, in Asia, especially because, for first of all, Paw Paw was real popular among Chinese players, We saw it when we published the demo on Steam Next Fest. We made it on February this year, and we had a lot of feedback at Steam discussions, on the demo page, in Steam reviews from Chinese players because they loved the concept. And I had a conversation with Tudor at Gamescom. He asked me, "So, what is Paw Paw?" And it's another like a trick from our game designer. He studied Korean language, and he know a lot about Asian culture, Chinese as well. And Pao Pao, it first of all mean bubbles, but at the same time, Pao means like dessert at Chinese kitchen, at Chinese culture. So it's a very tasty food. So when the Chinese players saw this title, this name, they thought it something about their country, something about their culture. They started to play it. They like it. They wishlist our game and wrote a lot of reviews. And after that, we created quite a lot of Chinese social media. For example, Bilibili, WeChat, RedNote, and QQ, to communicate with Chinese players and grown the Chinese community, because it another one and one of the most important moment for everyone who just want to promote games and who just want to dive into this sphere. Because if you see that your game is popular among some kind of players, uh, geography, age, sex, I mean male, female, and so on. You just need to spread and to grow your community, and you need to use all resources which is possible. Because our team, we don't know Chinese, and no one had Chinese social media like WeChat, UQ, RedNote, and so on. But we made it, we register it, and we communicate with our players, with our followers, using Chat GPT, using Google Translator. It's a little bit tough sometimes. It's a little bit hard,
Yeah.
because you don't have a chance to make a mistake. Because if you said something wrong, because
They will
of the fault,
demolish you.
yep, absolutely, absolutely, that's true, that's true. Yeah,
The
and you can.
so basically, people in China are known to be masters of burning people and basically writing all kind of sarcastic and snappy answers to everything. But I want to congratulate you for breaking into China. I mean, it's one of the biggest game markets out there, and if you've broken in there, then that is a great success. And
Yep.
sorry to have interrupted you.
That's okay. That's okay. Please interrupt. Please ask question. I just want to say that we don't have a chance to make a mistake, and you may remember the case of Wukong game, because, for example, that game has a strong support from Chinese community. But when you see the other games which just released after Wukong and try to use it with Souls-like atmosphere with Chinese history, I forget the name of the title, which just was released like several months ago. It was only Chinese game about, I think, 18th century of Chinese history, also Souls-like with hard bosses. But this game had a really negative review, and it was from Chinese players.
Is it Wuchang Fallen Feathers
Yep,
by any chance?
Yep, that's right, Wuchang. And when it was released, it had a lot of negative reviews from China. Everyone was surprised because the game was not so bad. It was pretty good, and it looks like Wukong. And the answer was that players, that people in China, they don't like the specific time in Chinese history, because they don't like the rulers who control the China in 18th or 19th century, and that rulers was like mentioned in the game. And for many China, it was like a bad period of history. They don't want to hear about it. They want to forget it. and that is why they just leave a really negative review. And personally, for me, it was like a cultural shock because nothing was bad or nothing was mentioned bad about people, country, history. There was no politic in that game. But yeah, as you mentioned, absolutely right. You don't have a chance just to speak something wrong with Chinese people. So it's we have a really huge responsibility to communicate with
Yeah.
that market.
Yeah, the thing is, besides being a contentious period for the Chinese, there's also the problem that the historical period that they chose actually had some problems being represented in the game because they had certain generals and big historical figures that weren't alive during that time or were in completely different parts of China, and they're very, very, very strict about representing their own culture and their own history. But another question I actually had for you is the following. I looked over your portfolio. I have to say it's quite big, and you guys did quite a lot with the 4 games that you currently have, the 2 published and the 2 that have to come out soon. And I was wondering, so the first one is basically a first-person immersive cozy. Second one is co-op, SOS Ops. Third one is
Mhm.
Pow Pow, and then we come to Lootbound. It's a complete 180 for you guys. I mean, you completely changed directions. You veered off course. What happened there? What's the story?
The story was simple. On Lootbound, working the other part of our team in ArtDock, and that part of our team were really strong fans of Dungeons and Dragons. Were really strong fans of RPG, of pixel-styled games, and as I mentioned, D&D, and games like Slave Aspire. And they
Slay the
want,
Spire is excellent.
And
yeah,
some
yeah.
Children of Morta, right? From the artistic, that's a good one.
Children of Morta, that's right. Yeah, Slave Aspire, that was like the inspiration source of inspiration for us. And of course, we saw it was a little bit late after we already start to work on our game, but we see that Claire Obscure with turn-based combat was real popular, and we had turn-based combat in our game, and we just inspired by that and say to each other, hey, we really had a chance because like pixel RPG, Dungeons and Dragons, turn-based combat, so we just have everything what we need to find our audience, which easy to find on Reddit, easy to find on LinkedIn, and just among gamers media. Because as I mentioned, IGN published our game trailer. It was wow for us because we just complete a game trailer for Lootbound. We write to IGN editor. He see our trailer and say, "Yep, okay," and just published. And it was shocked for us. After that, we made several posts on LinkedIn from our personal accounts, and some game journalists they just started to write to us and say, "Hey, we want to make an article for us." We just see their groups in LinkedIn and saw that there are around 500,000 followers on their media. I can say that it was Games Job Direct page on LinkedIn. Yeah, and we made a short interview with them. They post screenshot, trailers, a little description, and we see how our wish list just grown up. So yeah, it's all about concept. It's all about our personal feeling of games. It's about market as well. Yeah.
Okay.
I bet. Sorry to. I bet it's also like you mentioned. Basically, Lootbound seems to have the right recipe for success. But as we know from Clair Obscur, the example that you also made previously, it's a lot about passion. So it doesn't need to have. I'm guessing a project doesn't need just to have the perfect recipe, the graphics, the gameplay, and so on. It needs to be made with passion because that's what basically made also Clair Obscur, from my point of view, a hit, and I don't know, it's a phenomenon right now in the gaming, because the guys didn't care about anything else than just making something that they like, and of course inspired by Final Fantasy.
Final French disease in their
French
case.
disease, yeah. And it's crazy that, you know, it's like you would want to make a D&D game, and for you D&D is the best thing, and after you release the game, basically D&D comes to you and like, hey, we need to make notes from what you did because it's better than what we did. But yeah, it's crazy how what times we live in the gaming industry, yeah, because there are super, I don't know, big budget games right now that are good or average, but in the same time there are so many good indies, so many good double A's, if you want, games titles that people love. And like you said before, hitting the record button, there are a lot of cool indie small games on Steam, for example, that people are loving, and because they are fun, they are competitive, they are I don't know, you need to play it in co-op, so to have fun with other people, so that's very nice. By the way, I have a question. When you mentioned about budgets and how to basically make the strategy for pricing a game, because it's pretty essential, like you mentioned. Um, what do you think about Silksong, the game that basically broke broke the internet? You know, broke Steam, broke Nintendo eShop, and so on. So basically, they made a very good game that people were waiting for like 7 or 8 years, and they price it with just $20, you know, €20, let's say, in our region. So it's 100 leis, Romanian leis. How do you see it? I mean, is that a good thing for the indie scene? It's a bad thing? I don't know. Have you played it yet?
Sure. Can I answer on your question, honest?
Yep. Only honest.
Yeah, please.
First of all, I absolutely agree with this price politic, and I explain why. First of all, yep, I was among like 500,000 players who played in SingSong like on the day of release. I was it wasn't on Steam because the Steam page was broken, as you see. But thankfully, I just had Xbox, and I have a Game Pass, and Silksong still on Game Pass, and there was nothing technical troubles with it. So I played. I beat the first boss. Then I just thanks a lot, and just after that I go to sleep because it was late night, and after that I have Friday, so I need to go to work. But I know that some indie devs said, for example, I think it was someone from Dorf Romantic who said it's not correct that we made such a lower price, because they just create a wrong impression on representation of indie games. I mean, some indie devs said that now they have like strong public example, that next indie games they ought to be no more than $20 for their price, and they need to be as polished, as great, and as wonderful as Silksong. So, and someone said, no, that's not true. Silksong need to be like $40 or $35. That's not fair. We have a strong community, and so on and so on. Sorry for a strong word. I think it's a bullshit, because I'm not only like a lead of marketing, and I'm not only in devs, among devs, but I'm also a player. I'm a huge fan of games, and I have like let me say 240 games on my Steam account. So I play a lot. I play like let me say, Souls-like games. I play RPGs, strategies, shooters, actions, adventure, and so on. And I have like 240 games on my Steam account, and I just made a quick check like a few days ago, and I saw that I spent around $1,000 for such amount of game. So like I spent a little bit less than $5 for each game, because each time I took the game in which I totally sure that I will like it, I will spend a great time with it. I took it on sale, on Steam sale. So that is why I have so many games, and I spent not so much, only $1,000. It's all about working with community. They made this game for 7 years. They have such great and strong fans, and their fans were waiting for 7 years. And how's it called? The awakening of it was so hard. And the devs from Australia, Team Cherry, were really honest. They don't lie to their fans. They just say, we want to make a game so you can play in it for 20, for 30 hours, and you can enjoy it. And you will go back again and again and again. So that is why we just make so lower price. So everyone, like in indie sphere, like if you don't have a lot of money, you can still play with it. And I think that's a really good concept. It's a user-friendly concept because, as you mentioned before, we have so many games which don't have souls. They just a corporate product. We see that the last Assassin's Creed, for example, Shadows, it's like the repeat of the previous products, like the previous Assassin's Creed, like Mirage.
No more keys from Ubisoft for us. Thank you, Dmitry.
Sorry for that. Very respect. As I said, let me speak honest.
I'm kidding. Okay.
Yeah, a huge respect for Ubisoft, but I see that they just make one game for each time for many years.
Yeah. It's the same recipe, repeated, just reskinned, and
it's formulaic.
Yeah, the same formula.
And I understand this concept as a marketer, but as a player, I really don't like it. And I didn't buy Assassin's Creed Shadows because I know what I just see trailers, gameplay, concept, and I know in which game I will play. It will be like in the same game, but in Japanese setting. Okay, I already played in Ghost of Tsushima. It's in my Steam library. For which reason I need to play in such a setting, but just with bad, not optimized mechanics on their release. I think it's all about respect. Team Cherry respects their fans, they respects their players. Of course, if they just put a price like $40, I think more than a half of current players on Steam still bought this game. But they respect their players, as I said. And for example, you mentioned how much it cost in Romania. In Moldova, I can say it cost only $10.
Oh,
okay.
$10.
Should have bought it from the Moldova store. I'm kidding.
Yeah, we're gonna switch.
And in such country, like a region of Kazakhstan, Georgia, Armenia, it cost even $9 and $10 as well. And it was $20 only for like Western Europe and for USA. They understand them how the market works. They understand their players. They understand there are a huge fans in Latin America, in Ukraine, in Moldova, in Kazakhstan, which have not so much money as, for example, average American user have. And they said, that's not a problem. We love you. You love us. No problem. Take our game for $10. And I saw lots of pirates site who just published the build of Silk Song, and they wrote, "Guys, it's
go buy it.
Go buy the game.
go buy the game. The pirate site just wrote, go buy the game. They said,
Yeah.
wow, the games is really good, and and the price is not high. Sorry, screw it. Go and buy the game. It's a genius. It's a genius marketing. It's a genius marketing policy. Politic, but it's also about to be on the same vibe with your fans, with your audience. So yeah, as a marketer and as a player, I said Team Cherry, it's a great company. They're genius. I really glad that they have a contract with Microsoft, so I could play it on Game Pass as well. They made everything so right, and of course there are a lot of nowadays indie devs, indie companies who said so it's a cheating. They said they needed to done this, but I think it's only about jealousy, and to be honest, it's about worrying about their self because they understand that they haven't got such a strong community as Hollow Knight has. So yeah. Sorry for a long speech.
That's no. That's a very good
No, it's
topic
fine.
and a very hot one nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, so coming. I mean, it's one that we discuss it from the I don't know from the side, but you being from the industry and being like I don't know in the same team with Team Cherry and all the other developers. That's very nice hearing from you. It's I was when you talked about it, I was thinking on an example. For example, if you would go to buy I don't know pizza or something very good from a corner like a small family shop or something like this, and it would be like $2, let's say, and you go there because it's very good and very cheap, and at the moment they would be I don't know press comes and they would be on TV and so on, so they are just selling the same stuff but doubling or making the price I don't know triple or something like this, and the people will be okay, but this is not why I bought it, you know. I mean I would give you if you want more or double it, but yeah, I'm feeling cheated, you know, in a way. So I think that's the same thing from that Team Cherry was doing with Silsong, and basically they promised something and they delivered. I think they over deliver it with the quality of the game, and basically people buying it they are assuring that maybe in the next five years or more or less they will get another sequel that will be better than what they have. And one more thing, for example, I wasn't in the hype train for Silksong. I'm not a big Metroidvania player or Souls-like. I do like to try them, but I'm not that skilled. So I didn't knew much about Silksong, and Tudor came to me and like, dude, Silksong is coming out finally. I was Silk what? And after diving a bit in the subject, I realized like, oh my god, this is a this is a cool game, and being just $20, I mean, I bought it on my Nintendo Switch 2 like day one, and it was no brainer. I mean, it's just 100 lei, you know. So usually games are not twice, the triple or the even more than that, and yeah, it's a no brainer. I have just a quick question from the chat, and this is more about, you know, related to what you said about the player base, like being loyal to your players and them supporting you, because people are wanting to know if you, for example, have a plan, a continuity plan when you develop a game. And for example, you're launching the game, even if it's an early access or the final release, for example, on Steam, and you know that on Steam especially, and on any other platforms, people are coming with reviews and feedback and so on. So what's your approach, for example, on your previously launched games? Do you take in count people's feedback, players feedback, and I don't know, making updates based on that, or you just release it fixing some bugs maybe, or some, you know, small hot fixes, patches, and then that's it? I mean, it seems the same. Maybe for the next one you would implement their feedback?
That's a very good question. Thanks for it. Uh, of course, for now, because we are not so big indie team, and we're still, how's it called? We're still trying to understand what works best for us. Of course, we are thinking about early access. It's not about that our game will be not finished at the day one of the release, but it's about players. It's about feedback. For example, like in next week, we are planning to make an open offline test, like in local university. We will bring around 35 students from game dev course who will play in our game, and we will have like a professional feedback from people who want to work in this industry. But also we are planning to have a public playtests on Steam. I think it will be like on the 1st of October for 1 week. We are coming with public playtests on Paw Paw on Steam, and if we see that feedback, if we will see there a lot of feedback which we can add or implement in our game, if there will be some problems with navigations, tutorial, about maybe about bugs in co-op, because co-op, even multiplayer for 4 people, it's still a little bit tough thing, especially when you are making it on Epic servers. We make it on Epic servers, by the way. Of course, we will definitely make it with early access to, and the price will be not so big, of course, and we are going to make updates. We are going to implement feedback from our community, and maybe some of players, some of reviewers who send us just quite big and professional amount of feedback about their thoughts and comments, so we can add it to the titles. Like, thanks to that guy, we just make our game better and better. As I said, it every time for us about working with community, about analyzing all comments, all thoughts, and to make our games better and better. So yeah, I think like a half of year after the release, we're still going to add more content, to add more mechanics, to polish, to make the game even better, better, and better.
Right. So while we're still on the subject, I have a question for you. What would you say is the biggest misconception, or maybe the biggest misconceptions people have about the indie development process, since you were just talking about testing and stuff like that?
Well, talking about indie at all, many people think that it's that nowadays it's all about business. It's all about how to make money easy and quick. That's wrong, because nowadays we see that there are a lot of Steam games which are just released, and after like 1 or 2 days after release, nobody see them because the market is like overloaded. It's overloaded because the game dev, it's like on the top of entertainment sphere. Earlier, it was like Netflix, it was like HBO, some kind of Spotify, and so on. Nowadays, it's gaming, because we see like the simultaneously players on Steam. It's like around 35 million players, so it's quite big. So indie, it's a great opportunity to make a products you really love, you really want, and you wanted to share with such as inspired gamers. But first of all, it's tough stuff according to budgets, because the budget for indie studios are limited, and you need to make it really fast. You don't have so much time, And I think only Team Cherry, who made the Silk Song after the first Hollow Knight, they had an opportunity to make games for 7 years. But the truth is that like 99% of indie studios, they don't have 9 years. Even though I think less studio have 1 year for development. Sometimes it's just only about months because the budgets are low and limited, and you need to make it quick. And unfortunately, when you make games really quick because of your budget, your money, you lose something important. You lose something special. Sometimes you lose the heart and the soul of your game because you needed to release as fast as you can just to cover the budgets for development and not thinking about revenue. So indie sphere, it's really hard. Sometimes it's really cruel because there are a lot of indie studios in each country, in Serbia, in Moldova, in Romania, and sometimes they can just not cooperate with each other, but maybe be like concurrents between. And so it's a business. Sometimes it's a business with hard, tough, and sometimes not nice rules. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, thank you. We have Vlad here. Welcome, Vlad.
Hello.
Yeah, you have joined the party.
Hi, sorry, I was in another call and then I grabbed the snack and I joined this one. What did I miss?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should
I
see
mean, everything pretty
the
much. But
recording. Yeah, yeah. So Vlad, do you want to address a question for Dmitry? Maybe about the industry or something that you think it's
yeah, I have the hardest question in the world. So prior to this interview, to this live stream, I had this imposter syndrome where I looked at the titles made by ArtDock games and I realized, oh my God, I never played any of this. Like, what am I supposed to ask? So I'm going to ask the hardest question anyone can ever ask an artist or creator or anything. Why should I try your games tonight? Like, I have like an hour before I go to sleep after this call. Like, well, what's your best argument for me to actually give one of your games a try? Lootbound or SOS OPS or any of
the quick answer is because these games made by gamers to gamers, because it made by people who love game, who play games a lot, who play games in different genre. And as you can see on our portfolio, you can just choose everything that you want from our portfolio. If you like semi-open world, you can choose Paw Paw. If you want to relax and listen cozy music, see the cozy atmosphere, and just to communicate with penguins, you can just try Penguin Helper with your friends. If you like co-op games, multiplayer, like most part of our games have a co-op, so you can just relax and chat with your friends. If you want just to make something solo, you can try Lootbound because it's like pixel RPG, turn-based combat, like each specific mechanic that more true gamers just love. I think.
Vlad is
That's
sold
why.
at Lootbound, so you mentioned RPG, turn-based. his wishing list, putting on
I
wish
like
list
Final
right now.
Fantasy VI, yes.
I actually have two questions. One is going to be very hard, and the other one is going to be a bit easier. I'm going to start with the hard one, if it's okay with you. You mentioned you have approximately 200 games on your Steam account. How many did you actually finish?
Oh, about finishing, it's a good question. I think finishing around 30%, and I started like 99%. The only game which I still didn't start, it was Borderlands 2, because I pick up for free, and because it had some problems with confidential stuff, like with a user agreement. And I'm still waiting that we can just fix the user agreement about public stuff, about user data, so I can just safely play in Borderlands 2. And just the week before, I had some titles from 11-bit studio like Alters, like Frostpunk 2, and Indica, and they're still waiting for me on this Sunday.
Indica is really good, and it's also short, so you should try it. We all actually have a review of it in, I think, Grind 3 or Grind 4, Leo.
I think
it's 4.
It's free. The
free.
third one or the fourth one. But yeah, it's a very interesting game. If you like monks.
Monks and Russian Orthodoxy, and a lot of symbolic meaning there, and also some things regarding gaming. But the other question, the more easy one, let's say, it's actually regarding a little technicality, if I may. So a lot of countries now have seen how viable and good the gaming market is, and are trying to bring more and more devs into their country and make their country the next big gaming hub. We've seen that in Saudi Arabia, we saw it in Canada, and I'm curious, is there something in the Republic of Moldova? Do they offer any economic incentives, any tax deductions?
Support from the...
Yep.
Any sort of support?
Thanks a lot for this question, because it's really important. Yeah, in Republic of Moldova, we have an IT park which help indie studios like us, so we can just pay more or less taxes than other companies, because we are creating a working space in this country, because we make products which can represent our own country. And that is why, like, international specialists, like, for example, me, or other part of our team, because we have some specialists from Ukraine, from Russia, from Romania as well, and from Belarus. And we are just searching on other countries like Georgia, Armenia, Serbia, and even though the market of Eastern Europe, because we want to bring more specialists to our country. And in the last few years, the situation with specialists in Moldova, it's coming better and better, because it was like a trend. If you're living in Eastern Europe and you're good at IT, you're good at dev sphere, you want just to go Western, more West, like in Western Europe, North America, Canada, and so on. But thanks to the government, thanks to different programs like IT Park in Moldova brings, many specialists just stay in country and make games, make their own projects, and I think that's very cool. It's really cool that such programs can help us and our studio to live at their own home and work and create something special.
Right.
So if you want just to relocate in Moldova, please welcome. Here are like all opportunities to create the games and to have a nice salary, and just to, if you want to create a business, a studio, it's really okay to do in this country.
I would only go if they would paid me in candies Bucuria. So they are the best. So.
Yes, Chișinău, the Seara comes to mind.
Yeah, I would be twice as I am now, but yeah, it works. You guys just
wonderful. Yeah.
I would be Bucuros. Just one thing before diving into the next question. I just remembered that we have 3 codes for Metro. It's the Metro franchise, basically all the 3 games from our friends from GOG. So from the guys in chat, we're gonna offer you, if someone's interested and don't have on their GOG account the Metro games. So if anyone, even Dmitry and Tudor, Vlad, if you want to ask something for that someone from chat would give the right answer, then we would give them the keys. So if anyone wants to ask something, I will make sure that the one of those keys are going to the right people.
Okay,
If
so
you're being creative.
all I can say now is if people want to earn these keys, they should follow my next question, and then just keep in mind, because otherwise I'll ask it later on. But
Okay.
you know,
I will
just pay
try
attention.
to write it after you're asking
Right.
in chat.
So these guys made it a bit difficult for you, Dmitry. They asked difficult questions, but I'll go for an easy one. I know for a fact that your games, or some of your games, won some important awards. I know, for example, Paw Paw won the 2005 China Join Best Award, or the highest award. So could you tell us, please, about some of the most important awards you've achieved, or your games have achieved? And of course the story behind this achievement. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for this question. We have two big international awards for Paw Paw, as I mentioned before. It's at Nordic Game in Malmö in Sweden. We won People's Choice Award. It was a fantastic event for us. Honestly, it was a tough because we work hard at the conference, because People Choice Awards, it's about people who play your game, and after they playing, they need just to vote your game. So our main goal was just to go through the conference, nor the game, and if we see that there is no enough people at our booth, because Nordic Game it's not so much big at Gamescom. At Gamescom we hadn't got such a problem, because like each minute, each second we have a lot of people. We had aligned to our booth, to our games, but Nordic Game it's like a more calm and not so crowded. And our goal was to just go through the conference, just tell everyone, showing our game, and they just play. We had a lot of feedback, so they can just vote. And yep, that is why we won the main prize, People Choice Award. And it was really fantastic, because the ceremony of awarding was in a huge hall, and we saw that guys from Machine Games who created Indiana Jones. They just come to the skin and said, and People Choice Awards go to Paw Paw. We were really happy. It was wonderful. But the main thing was that guys from Machine Games who created Indiana Jones, they gave prize to us. And it was like, wow, we were just guys from Moldova, and now we are in Sweden on the main stage, and we just see guys from Bethesda who works with Bethesda, and they congratulated us. It was wonderful. And of course, after that, all Moldovan media wrote articles about us, made and interviews, even though on local TV there was a short report about our project and about our team. And according to marketing, it's really great. And according to inspiration, it's also great. And I just want to say to all our listeners, to all our followers, that networking and conference, it's a real hard, it's a real exhausted, especially when you visited such conference like Gamescom or Tokyo Game Show, or even though GDC at San Francisco, but you really need to do that, because networking, it's the main and important thing in game dev. You can't reach the media, you can't reach the journalists without personal connection. Even though the great meet with Tudor was at Gamescom, that's where we just meet with each other,
Exactly,
and that, yes, yeah, and that is why I just have such a great talk, with such a great chat with you guys right now. It's all about connection. It's all about networking. So yeah, prizes are really important, but it's like another break in the wall, another small step to the huge destiny. And our destiny is just to spread the word about our game among the big number of people.
Just
To be
yeah.
To be fair, I have to thank my wife for finding Paw Paw because I had no idea about you. I must admit, I must be honest, like you were before. And she came to me and she said, "Look, there is this nice game, something that looks like what we've played before. It's with animals, so let's try it. There's the demo. I think we should also mention this. There's a demo out there on Steam, and I tried it, and then I said, okay, I'm definitely researching you guys. And when I said I'm going to Gamescom, I said, okay, this is on my list. Wherever they have their booth, that's where I'm going to ask them some questions. So I'll give you that as well.
So if you ever ask where in a feedback form, where did you heard about our games, you should also add the answer my wife. So
Yes,
it needs to be there. Okay, about Gamescom that you mentioned this is the main reason that we are here. So and also Tudor and you being so nice, Dmitry. How's Gamescom from an indie developer perspective? Like, if you, I don't know, have some money and you develop a game and you can afford the booth to Gamescom, how should I say it? How supportive, in a way, it's Gamescom to indies, knowing that if you want to try, for example, Kronos, the New Dawn, or Indiana Jones, if you mentioned it before, or other big games, people will queue and want to try those games, those demos, and everybody would be there to the big guys, let's say. But I don't know how smart is Gamescom in organizing this fest, so they would assure that people will also see the other booths, so stuff like this. Maybe I didn't formulate it too well, but I think you got the point.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I got your point. That's a really important question. And first of all, I want to say that if you're an indie studio and if you want to come to such a huge event, you really need to be prepared. You really need, first of all, to find a good place where you can just showcase, where you can just locate your booth, your game. Because for us, we choose let me say it, entertainment area, like it's more like a business zone where you can find not only games, but also you can find like technical companies, maybe like companies who can just promote their own stuff. For example, like special tools, special programs. It may be like companies who just show their 3D printer or show their new motion capture costume. So we choose like an entertainment area because there were less, how's it called? Less risks for us because we were like everyone see us. And up on the upper floor, there was an indie area. And at the indie area, there were around 100 games. And the space for them was real less. For example, this indie game, this indie game, this indie game, this indie game. So it's like a long line for indie projects. And for me, for example, it was hard to find a tiny house, a tiny bookshop. Tiny bookshop. It's an indie game from Germany, which I like, and I spent like half an hour to find this game among all indie companies. Or if I want to find, for example, Buckshot Roulette or No, I'm Not a Human or Outbound, it was a little tough. So you need to be prepared to choose the right place. It's the first point. The second point is that such events you visited only for networking and for connection. It's not about wish lists, because even though the huge companies like Warcraft, or even though Bethesda with Indiana Jones, even though Ubisoft with New Anno, or even though Path of Exile 2, It's not about to reach the wish lists. It's about networking, connections, and media representation. So if you have a strong plan, if you just book your timetable with business meetings, with publishers, influencers, streamers, journalists, with maybe companies who can help you to provide playtests, QA, localization. Such a conference, it's a good point. If you want to spread the word and to gain a feedback for a huge audience, it's okay as well. But it's a little bit expensive way to have a playtest when you visit such a conference. So if you're a small indie company, maybe it's just more productive if you visited such a conference alone without any booth, like representative of your studio, book like a business meeting and just showing your game from your laptop, from your iPad, talking about it, and also make a networking and connection. Yeah, because this stuff may be like the same useful as you can have a booth like an indie area zone. That's my opinion.
You know, interesting fact. What you just said is exactly how the Rogue Prince of Persia came to be. Because Evil Motion, I think it was, yeah, Evil Empire, the developer came to Gamescom in 2019, and they just went and talked to Ubisoft, like, hey, we really love Prince of Persia, and we have this idea. They're like, cool, let's
Give us the IP.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but they had
Let's
Dead
start
Cells,
and see what
so
happens. Yeah,
that's a great
yeah,
great
no,
thing to have in portfolio.
it was a great
Yeah.
thing to have in the portfolio. We have another question from the public. So,
Let's take
sorry,
another question from the public and maybe one last question from us and wrap it for this night. I'm aware that everyone is
quite late.
pretty
Getting
tired
late. Yes.
and by the way, guys, we need to play tomorrow. We have a lot of games in our backlog, so it was wonderful, and definitely we need to have another discussion. Maybe when you launch Lootbound, because we're definitely interested in that one. So please count us in to cover it. Tudor, if you want to take the question from chat, and then maybe one one more thing to wrap it, and yeah, please.
Should I go? Okay. So, okay. So somebody in the public asked something that I actually wanted to ask myself. He says, and it's true, you recommend the RTX 3060 for Paw Paw, of course, in the highest requirements. What engine is the game built on? Is it Unreal Engine 5 or is it something else?
Each our game was made on Unity. We use only Unity engine because, to be honest, Unreal it's a little bit tough according to optimization. In Moldova, for example, I know several indie studios, and even though in Romania and in Ukraine as well, many indie studios try to use Unreal Engine 5, but they still have a little bit problem with optimization. It's not the problem about the engine, but it's problem with specialists and with different genre. For example, Unreal, it's not the best engine to work with open world. We see some kind of problems with Stalker the second, which was made on Unreal Engine, and it had a lot of frame rates, not the highest FPS, and several bugs on the release. And also, I know that guys from CD Projekt Red, which now are working on Witcher 4, they have quite strong problems with optimization too, because we're working on Unreal Engine.
It's a strange move, you know, like they had a
Yes, yes,
good engine, proprietary engine.
absolutely. The Red Engine, which they used when they created Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk, it was quite great. I love it. I love the games. I love the engine, but they choose Unreal Engine according to Witcher 4. And I know that the creator of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 said that he didn't understand it as well, why they choose it.
another good-looking game. I mean, CryEngine, right? It's the engineers for Kingdom Come Deliverance, right? If I'm not mistaking it, and it's wonderful.
And they actually
Yeah.
had the DLC at this year's Gamescom, which was very cool, I think.
Yeah, I think one
Just
of them
made
are launching like tomorrow or Monday.
It's on Tuesday.
On
It's on
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
So since we said one more question, if I have the honor of asking the last one, I'll just ask this one. From your perspective, what does success mean for an indie studio today? And do you think there's a path or recipe to reach that success? One word or maybe a phrase or something of this sort, if you have it in mind.
As a marketer, I can say that the simultaneously players on Steam, which more than, let me say, 5 or 10,000 simultaneously player on Steam, according to SteamDB, it's a success for indie game. Because, for example, for publishers like Tiny Build, I saw their last game, The King is Watching, and they wrote on their LinkedIn accounts that they gained like 15,000 simultaneously players, and they said that it's a huge success in their own experience. Even though Tiny Build, it's a company, let me say it, with 15 or 17 years of history. So it may be a hard and a long road path for indie studio to reach such numbers. But yeah, simultaneously players on Steam, it's like the measure of success.
Okay.
And if I may add, of course, if you in the studio and if you want to make a crowdfunding company, and if you just open a company at Kickstarter and it shows well, of course, it success also. For example, with Lootbound, we started Kickstarter campaign for a month ago. It was a 2-month campaign, and we also have like, let me say, 22 days before it ended, and we made a goal for 75,000 euros, and for now we just have 74,500 euros. So for us, it's also success because we see that many people support us, that many people interested in these projects, and they want to support us. They want to see how this game bring to life. So it's like the feedback from the community, from the audience. Such things like Discord community, if you had like thousands and thousands followers on your Discord, maybe if you have lots of followers on your other social media, or your Kickstarter campaign come to success, or just when it release, it's also, as I said, about players on Steam.
Yeah, indeed, feedback is pretty important for us as well. We have a Patreon page. We have a Discord community channel with a lot of cool people, and that's nice because in the end, even if it's about gaming magazines or gaming games, it's I mean indie games. It's in the end about this passion that we all share. So loving to play games and talking about them, and spreading the coolness of them, and making a lot of friends in the end, because I think that's one big aspect of gaming. You play games to have fun, but you play games with friends because it's funnier that way. It's more fun, not funnier, but sometimes it's funnier because you tend to laugh a lot. So Vlad, I did the intro for you, so you owe me the outro for tonight. If you want to take the mic.
I just want to say that we have a lot in common because we're also an indie sort of magazine. We're not. Let me close the window. There's a dog barking. There's a lot of overlap here, and the way in which we measure success has nothing to do with the amount of magazines that we print or the number of people who are in our Discord or subscribe to our channel. It's all about the quality of the interactions. And it's all about feeling happy about what we do in general. And from what I've heard from Dmitry, his benchmark for measuring success is very similar. And I'm proud to find people who are passionate about what they do, and also hope that we're going to have some kind of review for one of his games in our magazines, because it would make it come full circle, right?
If
This
not,
is-
we're gonna come to Brasov and find you.
Now
And
there's
bite you.
SOS Ops. So SOS Ops is on the list. Dimitri has provided some
Yeah,
help in
yeah.
that.
And
others.
looking forward for the new releases as well.
Definitely.
Again, the loot bound looks amazing, and it's exactly our type of game. So we
And Paw
definitely,
Paw too. I tested the demo, so I'm down for that as well.
yeah, the same. Yeah, we have a lot of different taste around here, so that's a big advantage because we can split games when we review it, and yeah. So it was really a pleasure talking with you, and people go find ArtDock games, play the demos for those who are available. If you don't own a PC or use Steam or Epic Games or stuff like this, then they have games on PlayStation. They have games on
Switch.
Nintendo Switch, Xbox. So go find them, buy them, and play and have fun. And this way, we are making sure that this guy's gonna do better work, and they will come up with new games, so everybody's happy. So thanks again, and hope we can meet again, maybe with Artyom also, and discuss some I don't know, some dev stuff, some geek stuff. And
Yeah, for
definitely when you do a new launch, contact us, and we will make it happen. So and also maybe we have the chance to meet, because we are not so far away.
Of course,
Yeah.
we are neighbors, and thanks a lot
Of
for
course.
your invitation. Thanks a lot for this opportunity to chat with you guys. Just wonderful, and every time it's a pleasure to have a chat, to talk with true gamers, because yeah, we are here because of games, because we love this industry, love this kind of art, let me say. And yeah, that's very cool that we are just near to you, like neighbors. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Have a great night, everyone, and see you on our next podcast.
Okay, guys. Bye. Game
Yeah.
on.
Bye.